you.
NC State, number 3 all-time in Penn Relays, number 1 in school history. Sam Bush breaking the tape. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, one of the most iconic events of Penn, it's the men's 4x-mile coming up after the break.
Virginia was third in that DMR yesterday.
All right, we are back. Corey Mull and Phil Grove. It is the men's 4x-mile relay. And Corey, this is a race that can go so many different ways. It can go hot from the beginning, or it can be very tactical, especially in that 4th and final leg.
Yeah, I would anticipate potentially this being tactical. You know, that's the method of which a lot of these teams tend to produce here. So early goings, I think we're just going to start to sort of find a rhythm with the first leg here.
Now the distance relay that was just before this one, the women's 4x1500 meter relay, the number 3 time all-time NC State, the Wolfpack. Head coach Lori Hennis, no surprise there that they went out there and for a while were challenging that 16:53 all-time collegiate best. Right now, Virginia in the lead in this men's 4x-mile relay.
59 seconds at 440 yards.
And Virginia's putting down a lineup of Wes Porter, Will Anthony, Yassine Sato, and Gary Martin, who's coming off the DMR last night. So Virginia coming back, doubling back with the 4x-mile.
So again, just the PR times figuring into a possible best conclusion of 15:47.39. The Virginia Cavaliers have the best all-time best numbers with North Carolina, Villanova, Michigan, and the Wisconsin Badgers not too far behind. A true race right now. No, you know, we're out there running. Again, it's the initial leg. The tactics will come on later.
Yeah, and you know, we'll figure out whether this will be a record race or not in due time. But I think, you know, we do have to mention, you know, we could potentially see a sub-16 4x-mile here. The record 16:04 by Michigan back in 2005.
And the national record, not too much faster. It's 16:03.24 by the Ducks from Oregon in 2009. So 11 teams currently on the oval. The Virginia Cavaliers still leading the way.
Lucas Guerrera.
You see Iona out on the oval, Georgia Tech. A mix of the major conference teams along with what in basketball they would call the mid-majors.
The mid-majors. Now, Virginia, I think, is a team I will be watching closely here because the result yesterday probably was not what they desired. And they had a chance to win it and steal it from Villanova. They have a chance to redeem themselves today, and looks like from the thick of things right now, they are aiming to do that with their first leg, Wes Porter.
And speaking of the Wildcats, the victory yesterday in the distance medley relay adds to the tremendous legacy of what they've done on, let's say, their adopted home track at Franklin Field. I mean, Villanova coming to the Penn Relays, the 4x8, the distance medley, the 4x-mile, that is what they focus on. That is what they've concentrated on for so many decades with American and foreign athletes.
Yeah, what was that, the 26th win in the DMR for Villanova yesterday? Just unparalleled.
And here is Iona on the shoulder of the Villanova Wildcat leadoff runner.
Carter Solomon of Notre Dame on the outside here of the curve, moving his way up, heading into the first exchange.
The Notre Dame Fighting Irish wearing their lucky green. Coming up to the stick exchange for the first time, and a young man I know well, C.J. Singleton, saw him in the warm-up area before, and he has really excelled in the steeplechase, dropping back down to one of his high school specialties, the mile.
This is a great opportunity for a freshman for Notre Dame to get, his name into the mix of things. Sometimes in college programs, you kind of tend to sit those young distance runners to learn a little bit before they get thrown into the fire. But CJ Singleton proving himself and obviously earning the responsibility of being on this relay.
We saw that mishap in the exchange zone. Again, there's been so much so far today as in body contact, heavy contact. We saw that in the 4x4 high school heats earlier today, day 3 of the 128th running of the Penn Relays. But it can be a real mess if you don't pay attention to what you're doing.
Yeah, results can change in a flash. Doesn't mean you're out of the picture, but they can change in a flash.
So the opening mile for Notre Dame at 3:59.06, CJ Singleton, the young man from Butler, Pennsylvania, leading the Fighting Irish, and will be joined by high school mile winner Drew Griffith next year in South Bend, Indiana. But right now, focusing on leading that group of 5. Notre Dame, followed by Villanova and Virginia up front. Iona's also in that lead group.
Singleton ran the mile back in January, 4:05. So it was a great start to his indoor campaign. Obviously the outdoor season is only heating up here for collegians. He's coming off a 5K best of 13:49 too. So he's got that marriage of distance fitness and some of that speed work in the mile.
And Georgetown also in that lead group as the Cavaliers' #2 runner moving up on the shoulder of Singleton. And thus far, it has really been an honest race, Corey, but we're only 6 minutes and 5 seconds into it.
Yeah, each leg is a race within itself as these men jockey among one another.
And you see the lead group of 5, but then about 15 to 20 back is the chase group. Right now, Georgia Tech has separated themselves, trying to move up, and you talk about the race within itself. You'll see so much movement within the field as a whole as they go 3 wide down the back straight. Georgetown, Villanova, and the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame on the rail.
Yeah, Singleton doing a great job holding off his competitors there on the rail, kind of surging with them. As you can see right now on the curve, he's making sure he keeps that line off the rail, even as Georgetown surges on his outside.
So Georgetown putting all their PRs together, projected as 16:01. They are definitely upping the tempo. You see the turnover as Singleton is not willing to give up that inside position or the lead.
Yeah, this is a tremendous work from the freshman to hold off Georgetown right there. But right behind him, I think lurking is that Nova? It looks like Nova.
In the #3 position. As the Cavaliers have dropped just a bit, Iona even further back. You see them going down the back straight, 3 wide. There are the Wildcats. Moving up, the next time by, they will pass the baton with 2 miles in, 2 miles to go.
Yeah, this is still important times for those front 4 because you can't lose distance. You can't lose ground. You have to make sure you finish and give your teammate a response here into the handoff.
So they were 3:59 after the first mile. They're going to come through with another either sub-4 or darn close to it. And passing the stick again, right about 4 flat for the second leg with Villanova, Georgetown, Virginia, and the Notre Dame Fighting Irish with Iona in 5th.
Notre Dame there on the back end just trying to latch themselves into the pack. Now that's Jake Renfrey, and he did that really within a moment's notice there.
And we haven't seen those situations where an athlete has had to extend too much fuel, too much energy to make up a gap with those lead 4 again in lockstep down the back straight for the first time.
Yeah, there is a bit of distance, though, to the 15, the 16. They're maybe 20 meters back. They have to pull this front back in a little bit, so I think they have to be a little bit more aggressive in this first lap to get back in touch with them.
Once again, the lineup: Villanova, Georgetown, Virginia, and Notre Dame.
Georgetown's second, Virginia.
The whole mile experience right now in the collegiate game, I think 70 or 80 a year ago, indoor under 4, it is just difficult to really put your arms around the whole sub-4 context in 2023, 2024.
Yeah, if you're not running sub-4 as a collegian, at the top of the ranks, then you're missing out here. So many guys have proven themselves and gotten under the mark. Now it's becoming normalized. And even that first lap, Marco Langdon for Villanova, 58 seconds approximately there on the first 400.
I tell you, I have that 16:04 number started bouncing around in my head with anticipation that we really could be all in for all 4 miles. And it is Villanova, Georgetown, Virginia, and Notre Dame, still that same 4-man order, with Iona starting to close just a little bit. Do you see him coming into the picture? Down the home straight once again.
But he really had to fight hard, kind of be aggressive, just to inch himself back into the picture here. Those front 4, I think they're running fast, but they're running within themselves too, not overly aggressive.
And again, they are right on about 16 flat pace, right about 10 flat to 10:01 through the 2.5 mile point. And the Cavaliers from Virginia, once again, expected to have Gary Martin on the anchor. He ran the anchor yesterday, the 1600 in the distance medley relay.
That's Yassine Sado right now in the third carry for Virginia, decides to press on Langdon here on the curve, sensing that he wants to give his anchor a good opportunity to take this race. So you see Langdon responding to that.
One lap to go for the third leg of the men's 4x-mile championship of America at Franklin Field.
And in a flash, Notre Dame kind of falls off the pace, and now they're fighting to kind of stay within, contact to that 4th place runner from Iona. But right now it's become a 3-team race here, with Virginia now swinging wide on Nova and Georgetown. That's Sado, a 3:55 miler now.
Virginia.
And we spoke about Gary Martin having run yesterday. He went 4 flat for his anchor in the distance medley relay. It was a little more tactical affair. And again, they are all in, sprinting for home, passing the baton for the last time. Gary Martin, who established such great records and joined Jim Ryan as the second high schooler to ever go sub-4 in a high school only race, and now that's been duplicated numerous times. 11:58 with 4 full laps to go.
Well, we're going to get a repeat of yesterday, because that is Martin and that is Murphy of Villanova there with the carry. Those first 2 guys went toe-to-toe in the DMR yesterday. Tefra from Georgetown, another name also there in the picture. So those 3 guys know each other very well, and we should get a battle here.
And they are on pace to break the collegiate record for the 4x-mile and also move themselves into the upper echelon of the all-time greats with the mixed nationality teams and also the Irish 4x-mile team. I believe Eamon Coughlin was part of that. But Gary Martin, who did, again, so many great things for Archbishop Wood, moved on to Virginia. The bespectacled young man, another lap in the books. Here they go.
So just by looking at it, it looks like Gary's kind of trying to be a little bit more aggressive from the front here, and he's pressing on Murphy. He wants to kind of get away from him early on, so Murphy can't offer that esteemed kick of his. But he's making the race faster now, and it's honest.
And a great buzz at the end of that women's 4x1500 relay when they announced it was the 3rd fastest collegiate time of all time. The crowd responded, a great crowd today on Saturday, Toyota Day at the 128th Penn Relays.
Martin heading into really critical times here in the 4x-mile out in front. This is a position he wasn't in yesterday, but he was in, he was in a pack. He couldn't move. So in a different situation, does this offer a better solution for him?
And just to re-emphasize the tempo what these three teams are running, they are closing in on one of the teams in this race, Clemson, the back marker right now. And again, this is an all-in race from gun to finish. Nothing tactical has really shown its cards yet.
Yeah, 60.5 on the last split for Gary Martin, and I think they are within that 16-minute threshold here. We'll see if they can hit it. But they are all moving together. You think about them, and then the second pack, it's almost 90 meters between one another. So that front pack in the first three, really, really moving.
And we are coming up on the bell lap, the next to last time in front of the Wall of Fame at Franklin Field.
And this time is going to give them great incentive to chase after a sub-16 here, because they're going to go into the bell. 14:57 for Martin. Now Murphy and Tefra chasing the Virginia athlete.
And the Clemson runner going out in the lane two, giving these top three teams, Virginia, Villanova, and Georgetown, the room to run. The all-time best in the world, Ireland, 15:49.08. Eamon Coughlin, Marcus O'Sullivan, Frank O'Mara, and Ray Flynn.
We got a battle. We got a battle of the three guys out in front: Martin, Murphy, and Tefra. Will Murphy have a repeat of yesterday, taking on Martin in the final 200 here?
Gary Martin could run this wire to wire in the final leg of the 4xMile relay. The crowd is on its feet.
Critical moment.
Never been before this weekend.
Critical moments here as Murphy tries to swing wide on Martin here. Tefra also coming.
They're going three wide into the final 50 meters. Virginia, Villanova, the Wildcats could duplicate another distance relay win.
Oh my
Penn.
goodness.
They blew that one away. 15:51.91. That is the number 2 time in history.
Say it loud, Villanova. Liam Murphy 2 for 2 after the DMR and the 4xMile. Now what can't this guy do in a big situation?
Wow, 15:51.91, the number 2 time in history, moved ahead of the mixed nationality Duck Track Club back in 2022 that ran 15:52. Virginia moves into the number 4 spot all time with their 15:52.30. What a race. Number 5 now all time, the Georgetown Hoyas, who finished 3rd here today.
So we had a split of 3:54.32 on the anchor for Liam Murphy of Villanova.
And the crowd surrounding the victorious Villanova Wildcats is massive. And in amongst that, our Olivia Ekpone trying to corral these 4 young men who just established collegiate history. Send it down to Olivia.
All right, Liam, I don't know who is louder, Phil Grove or the stadium right now, but you got everybody out on their feet. What was the energy like for you, from your perspective, the last 150?
It's awesome. I think there's no environment really like this. It's like probably the biggest crowd I ever raced in all year, so it's really special for all of us, all the rest of the 3 of us. And I looked up with 1 lap to go and saw all the alumni and my teammates cheering me on, so it just gave me a little bit extra more, and I'm happy I was able to bring it home.
You guys are the defending champs, and I believe this is the 22nd time that you guys have won this event. Just talk to me about the history of Villanova and what it means for you to be able to just continue that legacy here.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, there's so much history here for the alumni created, and it's what they look forward to all year. It's what we look forward to all year. So just being able to come back after last year and win again is really special. So I'm really proud of my guys and my teammates and everyone else that chipped in to make this possible.
Awesome. Well, congratulations, gentlemen.